Hi, this is James Mansfield, and you're listening to Drag Dish with Naomi Wynters. No relation to Shelley Winters, although the resemblance is mighty strong.
Ooh, this beat's so funky.
B. Ames and
Naomi Wynters. Working runways, I've got more to bring. My way is my way, and I'm changing some things. Simply like the way that I changed my name. Tasha Trinity wasn't working for me, so say my name.
Naomi Wynters.
So say my name.
Naomi Wynters.
Hashtag feel your people, just change the game.
Yes, how are we doing out there, everybody? This is a new episode of Drag Dish. I'm Naomi Wynters, and I am joined by the fabulous Billboard recording artist, Mila Jam. How are you doing, girl?
What's good, everybody? It's Mila Jam in the house. I'm great. I'm wonderful. Things have been really lovely, and I'm happy to be chatting with you today. So, hey, y'all.
Hey, well, I'm happy. As I said before, that you had a moment. I know you're a very busy lady. From music videos to appearances and performances. I just even looking at your repertoire, you have worked really hard, to even get this far in your career, How do you feel that work has paid off? And I'm saying starting back from when you were doing I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that no, you're fine. I think the hard work is kind of something that I signed up for, and I never looked at it as you just do a lot of hard work and then all of a sudden everything is just figured out. I think the hard work is continuous. So, I think there are levels of hard work, but I've always felt like, if I'm working really hard before I gain whatever, I'll put myself in a position of, really understanding my place in the industry that I work in, or what I have to offer, or my worth. So I think it's important. Anyone is aspiring to be in any field or business. You don't get there, even with our shortcuts of internet and social media and all those things. You don't just get there by, you know, um, a magic door opening. There's always a lot of hard work that people don't see, and sometimes that hard work takes years and years and years. So I've been doing what I've been doing for many years, and it's nice to get recognized. It's nice to be recognized for a lot of the hard work that I've done, just without the resources that I wish that I had, that some other people may have had, and that's kind of what it's all about. Is I really believe it's about creating what you can create with what you have. So,
and I love that you say that, because I've been a YouTube fan, social media fan of you for a while. So to see you blossom not only as a person, but as an entertainer, I guess on my aspect in seeing it, I commend you so much, because
thank you.
As a Black man, as a Black drag queen, I know what it's like to be in our community and and to feel alone, and not only feel alone, but to still, I have this dream, I have this vision, and I want to push forward with it. But to be able to do that vision and then still have your family behind you, because look, we've even seen portrayal in Drag Race. That's not the Black thing to do, especially
right.
How do you feel with that, and I would expect the acceptance that we're going towards in the world now, or that we're still fighting for? Do you think that?
Well, I think the acceptance is good, and that as we move forward, people will be more accepted. But we gotta still remember, with acceptance comes, learning how to accept acceptance. And that's not easy. That can be really difficult, because we all kind of want, to be treated a certain way, or to have, people's grace. And it looks differently. It feels differently when you actually get it. When you envision, it's like, seeing something that you really want in the store, And what is the feeling you get when you see it in the window versus like when you actually have it in your possession? It's a different feeling, you know? You can justify that feeling by saying like, oh, I always wanted this and now that I have it. But those emotions and these things, they evolve, they change, you know? And so being visible and having acceptance is one layer. I say this a lot. It's always about layers. It's one layer.
Uh-huh.
It's not just the end all be all. There's more behind it. You know, what does it look like when there is trans representation or where there is drag representation where there wasn't? Well, then there's
Right.
a new issue that comes up amidst all of it. You know, now that drag is so widely accepted and, you know, beloved, there are other issues that come up behind it. People, you know, feel like, oh, why do these specific drag queens get to be, you know, well known versus the ones who are not on a TV show? And then there's people, you know, idolizing others over others. And there's hierarchies and there's, you know, sub levels of all of this privilege that comes up. So it's not it's just not one facet of like everything is perfect, you know? But I do
Right.
appreciate that there's somewhere and like this platform that has been created, especially for drag queens and drag race. It's like, you know, that's a wonderful thing to be able to be a part of if that's something that you know, really want to do. There are pressures though, I think a lot of drag queens face, you know, based on wanting to be a part of the show or not.
Uh-huh.
And feeling like they have to be a part of the show just to be recognized or to work, you know, to make money. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of people who think that that shouldn't be the case, you know, but I do feel like with visibility on TV, like with major outlets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's something that comes with that because
Yeah.
more people see you, there are more opportunities awarded to you. So it's tricky. Um,
Now, okay, saying in that and pulling from that, it was saying that you're on this higher platform and we've placed on the higher platform, not limited to drag race entertainers, because there are a lot of trans and male and female impersonators that have
mhm.
been working and putting a lot of footwork in that they don't get recognition for before drag race, you know. Would you say that platform should elevate a performance? Would you say if that was your lift to get to drag race, now should I continue to see bar performances from you with a larger check, or should I see like a performance? Like, should I see a club version or this sold out stadium show performance, you know, for your worth now that you're
Well,
on this bigger platform?
yeah, I mean, I think that there you get to a level where you have to because it just, you know, the cup overflows.
Yeah.
You can't really afford to, you know, this is like a Madonna example where, you know, she can show up at like a Stonewall and have a moment, but you can't do, I mean, and if you're going to do that, you can create it to where it's like a specific, I'm going to do this. This is my mission. Like Lady Gaga also did that where she's like, I'm going to do a small tour. I'm going to get, you know, close to the people and my fans, but you can't live there the way that you did before you were who you become. And so
Right.
there has to be a shift. It's only natural. You know, what people do with that shift is different for everyone. Some people
Just,
acknowledge the shift and they take, you know, accountability for it. Some people don't. Some people think that that's just always how it should have been and how it has been. And
right.
you kind of deal with the deck of cards you're given. I just think, you know, it's nice to be able to, it is nice when someone who has a platform or that's, you know, able to use that in different ways. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they always have to be at the shelter or they have to always be at the dive bar, but they have opportunities
Right.
to make, you know, an impact and make choices and they can give back, you know, they can give back periodically. I don't think that I expect them to live there all the time because that's something different now. It's a different game. It's a different level. There's different stakes. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. We're loosening up. Let's still in the performance aspect, but not solely drag related.
Uh-huh.
You began your career in New York City at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, right? And that's where you really got your push for stage and production.
Actually, no, I've literally been doing theater and stage since I was about 3 years old. I mean,
Okay.
I was born in Chicago, but I was raised in Georgia. But in my few years of being a young one in Chicago, I was
Mhm.
actually widely known in the inner city community in Chicago. I was a child actor. I was doing local access television. I even had opportunities to go to LA to pursue TV. But my mother was more, interested in having a life that was grounded and like, going to school and getting an education. And it was, it seems like a glamorous opportunity, but also I don't think she knew what the outcome would be and that it would probably be smarter to like have me not go to LA when I was little and become like a Hollywood kid. um,
Yeah.
so we moved to the South to Georgia where my grandmother lived, and we moved with her, and I just started doing regional and local theater there.
Okay.
And I toured. I did a lot of local theater in my hometown, which is Columbus, Georgia, and then in
Okay.
Atlanta, Georgia. I also booked a lot of shows, and I was a part of an acting troupe in Atlanta, and we got to travel the world, doing original theater and also, uh, well-known plays, and it just allowed me to have what I think is so important for any artist is the gift of like travel, because you can't really learn. You have to have these experiences to really know how to harness, I think character work and knowing how
Yeah.
other people live and all that stuff. So I did a lot before I even got to AMDA. I was
Okay.
already, um, you know, full-fledged thespian doing theater and professional theater at that, before I went to school for it, or I guess you could say like a college.
Okay.
And then after that, I just started actually going out and doing more and traveling a little bit more until I realized I wanted to be my own person, and I wanted to make my own mark as like someone who has a voice and an artist that spoke on, more than just being an ensemble player. Like, and I didn't want to just be like an actor in a show. I wanted to
Right.
be me, and I wanted to
Yeah.
share my point of view.
Right. You with purpose, doing you. I
Yeah, but
understand
it's
that.
hard to
Okay.
manifest. It is definitely, you have to, that's a lot of work to manifest it, because it doesn't happen, like I said, overnight. It doesn't happen in a year or two. You really kind of just go forward, not knowing how long it's going to take, but you just kind of do it until, you know, something, something shifts.
Yeah. That higher frequency comes along. Okay. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Okay. And let's just dabble since we're just touching on your performances because I'm looking over here at a couple of events that you have coming up. And before I
Yeah.
jump solely into that, when with your theater theater background and having the ability to be out in the world and learning hands on, was music something that was already always there for you, or was it something that from the experiences that you were out getting that you just felt more drawn to?
No, music was always there for me. I
Mm.
kind of grew up wanting to be a musician. I've always been an entertainer. So like the entertainment thing is just in my DNA, it's in my blood. But I'm a kid of the '80s and early '90s, and that's a time where most of us looked at becoming a star or becoming an artist. Was like a gift. It was like a calling. And I was actually talking to my mother about this the other day. How, like, back in the '90s, you kind of felt like you had to be discovered. and that someone would, find you and they would say, wow, like you are, you have this talent and I can work with that and we can do something. And it's different now because everyone can kind of just take what they do and they can broadcast it to the world and
Yeah.
kind of make it their own, and then if there's a company or there are authorities that want to be a part of it, they just approach you and they say, hey, I got this. Can you be a part of this? And you say yes
Yep.
or no. But
Hmm.
I always loved music. I always wanted to be a singer and a performer. And I think I think I didn't realize how much time and work goes into getting it the right way and making it happen in a sustainable way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's kind of
That's
been my journey with that. And I also find that, it's not always linear. Like it's not always, even if you do want to be this one thing, sometimes you go left and you do this thing and it helps you realize like, oh, okay, this is why I do want to do this more, or this gave me some new tools to use to go toward what I really want to do. Or like there's always like a diversion that happens in life. And I always kind of think of it as like, how do you stay on track? Like, how do you get back on track if you get off? Whether that's like a
yeah.
side hustle or like a side job, because we all know that many artists or musicians or singers, they've had lives that were like, I was a cook in a kitchen. I worked for a
Hmm.
postal company. I, was a hairstylist. You have all these things that
Right.
you do just to, make it by. But the passion, you have to find those doors and those windows of opportunity to like really feed the passion. And then at some point you have to switch over and go full force into it.
Okay. This is true. Like, oh, and I've learned that full force can be like, that's when you really find out if you're passionate about something because it's like,
Yeah, it's like all or nothing. And,
yeah.
sometimes you fall, but like I really do think that once you've discovered that something is all or nothing for you, you just give your best and it's a harsh reality, but you have to do that to find out what the results are, you
Right.
know?
Okay. All right. So for any of you newbies, you baby dragons out there, baby lady boys and things, just remember, as we've reached out over the last few podcasts and guests, that anything that we're doing, we're manifesting and growing, and we want to put that time in. We want to put that investment because later is when we get.
You
That's
get the
when we get all that
rewards.
savings. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, speaking of rewards, so not only, have you done amazing parodies early in your career with like Pussycat Doll songs, Rihanna, Beyonce, you've done your own original music,
Hmm.
and not only have you just done it, you've done it and you've actually been on the billboard. And I think that is an amazing feat. And actually, even speaking of music, I see you do on June 14th have a new single coming out, Masquerade.
Yes, I
Can you
do.
tell us a little about that?
The Masquerade. Yeah, Masquerade is it's a really upbeat, up-tempo pop track. Um I look at it as my song calling out the masquerade of people wearing masks, whether it's romantic or not. And you're letting them know and you're letting everyone know that you see it, like you call it the way it is. And that they're not hiding it behind this masquerade. It's like this illusion. You get it, you see it, and
Yeah.
you're calling it out. And I'm excited about this song because it's coming out right before Pride, which is happening here in New York City, the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. And the energy of it is just, it's got a sort of an uplifting kind of feel to it, but it's also saying, like, I know what's up and I can see you. I can see right through you. I can see right through other people. And it's like a no BS kind of zone. And that's
Okay.
really where I'm coming from with a lot of the songs that I've been releasing, a lot of pop tracks with messages, about calling out, the things that people say or do, guys, romantic partners, and letting them know, this is like, I see it, I'm calling it like it is. Masquerade, we are, like you said, dropping on June 14th. And hopefully there will be, I'm working on it now, so I can't really say what we're going to do, but hopefully there
It's
will be a
fun.
music video to really express, calling them out, calling out folks. So for
Okay.
their masquerade. I have a saying with my girls. We you know, everyone in their friendship circles have like their vocabulary, but like to me, I've been using the word masquerade at everything. So like you go to a restaurant and the food comes out and it's cold, and I'm just like, that's a masquerade. Like I looked at that food and I thought it was gonna be hot. And I'm calling it out. It is not hot, and I would like my food to be a hot. I don't want it to be masquerade and cold. But you can use the word any way you
Yeah.
want to. Anything could be masquerade. It's like, and you can kind of just switch it up or throw it up however you like. It's a mood.
A mood. Okay.
It's a mood.
Yes. We love a
But I'm
mood. We
excited
love a
for it.
mood.
It's a big song, and it's the production is really wonderful. It's really fabulous. And amongst that song, I have Twilight Zone, which is out already on all platforms, and my song Like the Last Time, which we just released recently, um, which is a sweet love song, and the video just takes a turn with the guy that what I was filming with. Didn't want to be in the
Okay.
video after he knew found out I was trans. So that was a
Uh,
whole topic of discussion because
okay.
I just need to highlight these things that are happening in my life. Many of them happen in real time and they're not really calculated. And so even for that video and that song, we just thought it would be best to put out the video with this guy blurred in the scenes because he didn't want to be seen. And it just highlights what we go through or what trans people go through in the dating circle, what queer people go through and being um hidden in the shadow, I guess.
Okay. She's got messages. She's got messages for us. No, I'm loving that because I've seen a couple of times where you've like exposed like a post here or there from
Uh-huh.
dating or whatnot, it's something going wrong or somebody like going left. So
Uh-huh.
like being a fellow African American in the dating world, I completely understand that. It's like being a entertainer, drag queen, a transgendered woman or man. Either way, it's like, oh, I'm having this wonderful conversation. I'm into you. And then it's like, well, I thought you should know, like, this is happening. And then it's like, what? They just completely go left field because
Mm-hmm.
they feel that we've, for usage of it, set up a masquerade when we're actually like, giving them that honest feel. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
agree
I
with
like
you.
it. I think that that's something that we need, especially with a lot of the craziness that's, happening in the world with death and dating in the trans community. Like
Of
just
course.
not heavily touching
Absolutely.
on that, but, mentioning it,
Yeah, you have
like,
to though. We have to talk about it.
um, so that's cool that is coming out around Pride. Lots of representation present with that.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the same thing, the next month, July 12th and 13th, you'll be in San Diego. So will you be doing a live performance of Masquerade there as well,
I
or a
will.
whole
Yes,
different set? Oh, okay.
it's gonna be in my set. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing San Diego Pride. And I'm actually gonna be there on the 12th and the 13th. I'm gonna be doing their opening ceremonies on the 12th. And on the 13th, I'll be doing the main stage show. This is great because it's going to be my second time in San Diego, but my first time at San Diego Pride. I haven't been to San Diego in many years, And when I was last there, I was not there for any Pride festivities. So I'm excited. Everybody
Okay.
come out. Please tell your friends, tell your family. It's going to be great. My family's coming. A lot of my friends are coming. And it'll be a celebration for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, and then I see we have you again at another Pride, Jersey Pride, right after that. In
Yes, I'll be at
August.
Jersey Pride in August. Jersey, yeah, New Jersey Pride.
Okay. And like
And
I'm looking here at my notes, making sure.
yeah, and
um,
right before Pride kicks off here in New York, I'm always super proud of Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. They do Broadway Bears, this huge performance that's a benefit concert where they get all of the Broadway actors and stars
mhm.
to do a strip-a-thon and raise money for HIV/AIDS organizations. And I've headlined the show the past 2 years, and I've just been added to the cast list for this year. And so I'm very happy to be a part of it again. And I think there will be lots of special nods to Pride, to this significant year in New York City's Pride history, being home of the World Pride, and I'm excited to be a part of that too.
Well, congrats to you. And actually, speaking of events that you are being added on New York City, I also have a note that you are hosting the official Rocket Man screening
Oh
in
yes,
New York.
this is the Elton John musical, Elton John movie, not musical, sorry.
Okay.
It's going to be a premiering. It's actually the preliminary premiere at Lincoln Center here in New York, and I'm going to be hosting that. I'm excited to see the film. I think it looks, it looks really exciting and moving. I'm a big Elton John fan. I know a lot of people are a big
Yeah.
Elton John fan, and so seeing his story kind of come to life on the big screen will be not only exciting for me but for everyone. And you have to get excited about what I'm going to be wearing. So I'm definitely going to be giving my homage to Elton John, all of his
Okay.
fabulous styling and his fashion sense. So that's going to be that's going to be a great night to remember. Um, before I do Broadway Bears,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
right
It's like
before
before you
Pride.
kick off everything. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's literally you have
She
that
busy.
Broadway
There's no
Cares.
masquerade.
Okay, okay. I think that's really awesome. And while we're here dabbling, what is your favorite Elton John song?
Oh my God. Probably. Uh, I love Tiny Dancer. I mean, like, who doesn't love Tiny Dancer?
Oh yeah.
I think Tiny Dancer
Okay.
is um probably my favorite Elton John song. I also love I've been standing better than I ever been. That's a really good one.
Okay.
I have to go through my archives of
Yeah, it's
Elton's
like
hits, because then you realize after time that there are songs that you didn't know, that you didn't remember that he did, and you're like, oh my God, I love that song, but I forgot he did that too. You know.
right. Well, I feel like, with me, being that 80s, 90s kids, like
Mm-hmm.
Elton, I'm your classic old school, Rocket Man's
Uh-huh.
and, just the classics. Give me that. I don't need you serenading that. I liked you when you gave me my feels in The Lion King. And
Mm-hmm.
then, and then, it's like, okay, we're in the 2000s.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see, just moving along, your busy schedule. You have logo black box session coming up.
This project I do have coming out, the Logo Black Box series. I don't have the date for you guys, but I'm honored and humbled to be a part of it. We did an unplugged acoustic set of some of my music, and I think it's a really special moment. It's just a special a special of my
Okay.
songs, a couple of my songs. And then there's a little interview as well in that, and I talk about some of the stories behind the creation of some of my songs, like "Bruised," and my song "Better Days." So I think that will be coming out pretty soon. I hope it's coming out soon. I don't know for sure, but when it does come out, I'm
Yeah.
actually going to be really excited about that.
Okay. That's how. Something else to keep all of your social media looking out for, and logo. All right, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I want to get all my notes and touch everything. So then when we get into random questions and just talking, that it's like, oh no, I didn't forget something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
um, let's see. So you were recently a music video muse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah?
Yes, I
Let me see.
did a video. Yeah, with Alex. There's an artist named Alex Iono, and
Okay.
is he's got actually a really huge following on YouTube. He's kind of like a YouTube sensation, I guess, times two. Like, there are YouTube sensations and there are people who just are like YouTube royalty in a sense. And
Yeah. No.
he's released a new song called Her. And I got to be a part of the video for the song, playing the lead female muse. And the story is essentially about a boy, kind of growing up in a heteronormative society and wanting to just sort of explore his identity, maybe even his gender expression. Um, but I play his dance like instructor, dance coach, and I inspire him to, explore, I guess explore his identity. And we also did this really awesome PSA for the music video that should be coming out uh, simultaneously with it about, what it's like to be different and growing up, being around like kids in high school or in middle school, and discovering that you might be queer or gay or trans or lesbian or bisexual or pansexual, and allowing people to have that space to, figure it out. Allowing parents to see that it's okay if their children are questioning, and that we all kind of have periods in our lives where we're questioning to just try to figure out who we really are. So we joined with GLAD and we joined with Glisten and Logo and the Fluid Project to have this PSA with Alex. And Alex is an ally who's really supportive of the community and wants to be inclusive. So I like want to thank him like a lot for being so open and so warming and welcoming to share his space, which is, I think that's a big topic. Today is about inclusivity. Looks like sharing space. If you are someone
Mm-hmm.
who's not queer, we need to have more opportunities to get to know, um, that we can all get along in spaces, that we don't have to be so separated, or we don't have to be like, you're over there and we're over here, and the conversations need more, queer conversations need more straight listeners and heteronormative allies, so that we can not just be talking to ourselves the whole time.
No, that's very true. Like, we can educate amongst ourselves so much that you're, for lack of better words, beating a dead horse.
Exactly.
But having an open audience to give that information to new ears could be opening up for so many other people to, break that cycle. Um, completely agree, and completely cannot wait to see this video
Mm-hmm.
because
It's going to make a beautiful
we,
statement.
yeah, like that's something that's completely needed. This video is completely needed right now, and for our generation and for generations to come. Just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just a strong, yeah, that just sounds like just such a strong sense of being and presence and knowing like, hey, you're not alone. Like, I know there have been other more subtle, notions on platforms and even some more bolder celebrity
Yeah.
notion, but it's a little bit different when it hits at a more local level per se. So
Mm-hmm.
that sounds great. Let's see. Okay. And let's see. So that music video is happening, and then you're also starring in Mike Taviera's music video single for Heart.
Yeah, that's actually going to be, we're filming that this weekend. Mike reached out to me and asked me to be a part of it. So that will be a really cool perspective. I'm not giving you guys any information on that because that's his baby that I'm going to be a part of. I'm co-parenting, but he's you know, kind of asked me to be a part of this narrative. And I think the topic of the video is something that's also needs to be talked about in our community as well. It's, navigating uh being queer on many different levels, and we always look at things as sort of black and white,
Uh,
and a lot of people, even trans people included, life isn't black and white. You might start life in one way and you might end life in another way, even though there's a connection to everything that you become. There's different, it's a metamorphosis. There are different ways to look at it or to express that. So Mike is, I'm excited to work with him and to see what he's got for his vision. And yeah, I can't wait. Like, you guys will get to see that when that comes out. I'm hoping that will come out before Pride as well. So I don't know what his rollout plan is, but I think it might be pretty soon after we film it this weekend.
okay. Let's let's go in and have some fun now.
Yes. Oh, I must mention that I was just at the Met Gala with my best girlfriend Laverne Cox. She walked the red carpet in her custom Christian Siriano gown, which was major. But she asked me to tag along with her to the after parties, and we had the best night hanging out, going to the Met Gala after parties, star-studded night. This was actually just Monday night, so it was,
Yeah.
literally like a day ago. But we got to hang out with a lot of cool peeps. We danced with Katy Perry um, at the Gucci after party, and we spoke to Darren Chris, who's a good friend, and Mark Ronson was actually DJing the party, which was cool. And then we ended up going to um, the Standard Hotel, where there was the main event party, I guess you could call it, hosted by Idris Elba, and everyone loves Idris Elba. So that was cool to
Of
see him there.
course.
And I got to speak to Janelle Monáe. We actually went to college together, and I hadn't
Oh
seen
wow.
her in many, many years. And we've sort of been, I guess, around each other in certain circles, but we keep missing each other. We finally got to catch up that night and talk. And she's just, I mean, she is one of a kind. She's so unique and such an inspiration, artistically and style wise. Like, I live for Janelle. But it was so wonderful and humbling to be able to speak to her and catch up with her and have a few words. But yeah, some of the other people we actually saw Celine Dion walking out of the club as we were leaving, and it was cool to sort of be behind her and her security. And who can say that they, left a club with Celine Dion? Not many people.
Right. Right. Um. Okay. Since this year's Met Gala theme was camp, were there any like fashion letdowns that you felt? I mean, I know it's camp, so it's
My letdowns were, I think most people would agree. Like, there were so many glamorous choices, and this was really the time to sort of take risks and to go out of the box, to
mhm.
do things that were not sort of, I guess, quote unquote, glamorous. I would have loved to have seen more of those oddities. from the carpet. I thought that Janelle was a great example of camp, even with, keeping it stylish, but that was great. I forget his name, but the actor, um, oh God, what's his name? He did the makeup on his face with all of the eyes. It was a
Oh,
really cool
oh,
expressionist kind of thing.
I know what you're talking about. I just
Yeah,
looked.
he's very popular right now. I can't think of his name, but he was I loved his yeah, I loved his approach. I also really liked Lupita. I think Lupita Nyong'o was a great expression of camp, and I actually really loved the what Laverne wore because Laverne, we've never seen her in ice blue hair with the futuristic makeup and
No.
a gown that literally looked like I don't know, like an umbrella opening over the side of her head, but like it
Yes.
was, or like a flower blooming, but it was just the construction of her whole piece was great. And shout out to Billy Porter who like
Yes,
really ushered
queen.
in, you know, like that majesty that he came in with, you know, the dancers. A little side note for you: you hear it first and only here. The dancers that actually carried Billy Porter in on the red carpet are my dancers and my my
Sickening.
my family. Yeah, specifically two of the guys that were carrying him. They're like my best two of my best friends and both choreographers and dancers. Shout out to them, Julius Rubio and Kellen Stansel. They're
Down.
also Broadway boys. You can see them on
Okay.
Broadway in Lion King and Frozen.
And
But it
it,
was just
on
that was
the
amazing.
before I'm letting you go, girl. But before we like get too far in Met Gala, you did some stuff for. I'm brain farting now. We were just talking about Billy Porter. Uh, um, I can't even think of what the show's called now.
Pose.
Pose. I'm brain farting. Like literally every other word for the ballroom scene is coming to my head, but pose. Yes, you did. um, some early work with pose. I mean, as you know, some of the stuff didn't make the cut, but you still got to experience that.
Yeah, I was more or less an ad campaign model for the show. I did like some light cameo stuff for a lot of video promo, but I was basically hired to be in the advertisements and the campaigns that you would see like on billboards around the city and whatnot. I was also the set model for the poses of the lead actors. So in season one's billboard ads, you would see MJ Rodriguez, in this sort of like see-through glowing headpiece. I set the poses for it. I got to like sort of be her body double. And it's so funny to me because we're really like she's my sister and we're friends in real life. So like I got to like set these poses and then she comes in and then sort of does them. I'm like I guess the paper doll for it, you could call it.
Okay.
And I did that for a couple of other shots they did. But then I got to do one. I had a shot that they did produce, and it was in some places in LA. They actually had a large version of the shoot that I did in the FX offices in LA. Um, but yeah, I got to wear this huge afro and do like this runway scene. It was a dream. It was like being on Top Model. It was like
Okay.
the closest thing I would say to being on, you want to be on top. I was having those moments thinking of like Tyra saying like suck it in and turn your leg and lift your neck and smize. It was great, but it's
Okay.
hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, all 90s feels to be in front of a camera and thinking
Uh-huh.
all of those thoughts. I still feel my favorite top model moment is the Tyra spaz out.
It
Like,
was, yeah, that was the moment that stood out for everyone's iconic moment and especially in uh YouTube history. I think it's like I think if there was like the most talked about or watched, clips of all time, it would definitely be in there.
yeah. Ugh. Gosh, girl.
it was the argument heard around the world.
Everybody. All right, let's now go back into
Everybody
this
knew.
to this Met Gala. So Janelle was, and I love that Janelle took risks. It reminded me a lot of Monique Hart and her what she called them
Uh-huh.
emojis,
Uh-huh.
and I really love that because I felt like it was just taking resubmitting culture into culture, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I do think that she did that. She was really good about, it's like she always stays on brand, but she also always makes a point to, get you talking about it. But then it's just like, it's just swag. Like, it's just so good.
yeah. Um,
And the
I'm not
hats too. I
crazy.
love.
Oh, the hats on hats on hats.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think one of my other favorites, and only because I watched the construction video a million times, is that Zendaya's fairy tale, fairy
I
godmother
didn't know
gown.
there's a construction video. Did they show the making of the dress?
Yes.
I want to see that.
I guess it's wand activated. So like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, they waved the wand and smoke came and lights
Yeah,
came
yeah, I
on.
saw that.
Yeah, just amazing. Just the whole breakdown of going into it and programming it. It was one of those little quick videos, and it was pretty cool. Um, yeah, just seeing that and knowing how much work these designers are putting in for these, to make these looks to create this theme is just like crazy, you know. Um, I did, I felt a little subpar personally with some of our drag representation. But that's just me.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
That, I'm not saying that the fashion wasn't there or the assignment was missed, but it wasn't, I guess, for the camp and a lot of the elevated glam or whatnot that I'm used to seeing on a tour. I guess I didn't get a lot of that.
Are you speaking about
Um,
anyone specifically?
uh, Not specifically. I mean, we can even touch I can touch my appeal. I do wish RuPaul would have personally been there in drag. I would have loved
Yeah,
to have
I
seen
heard a few
that.
people say that. Mm-hmm.
I will say I loved Violet's the idea of her being the full length glove and a gown. I liked that,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt, it was still. I felt like it was, I could have seen you still in a gown anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um, and it's literally not me dissing, but to see the Janelle Monets and to see Billy Porter, Zendaya, and like see these like grand costumes, and I'm like, this is, I'm like, this is your career. This is the career that
Yeah.
I'm like fighting with for you. Like, give us what we do. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just me personally. Um, were there any like I don't even know like we've talked about your
I
circle, but any
actually
other celebrities that you were there or no? Any what?
um it's funny, like I really like aside from I really like seeing Sierra's look. I thought she looked really lovely, and I actually thought Kendall Jenner looked really lovely in the orange feathers.
And yeah,
Um, I mean, she just looks so stunning. I kind of with Kim K's outfit at first, I was not really feeling it. And then kind of getting deeper into the history, into the like construction and like,
raindrops. Yeah,
Terry Mugler is like, it's just iconic and it's just so,
yeah.
so specific, and it gave it a little bit more of a meaning to me, knowing who created it.
Hmm.
But I think it would have been cool to have seen a piece like that on someone else, that we wouldn't have expected that from. Um, but I thought, what did you think of Lady Gaga? I loved the idea. I felt like the execution was what ruined it for me, and I felt like it shouldn't have been a 13-minute performance. I think that it should have been a 5-minute performance where it was surprising that she was revealing all these different looks, which are not hugely different, but
Yeah.
she really drew it out. And every time there was something revealed, I was like, well, we just spent 8 minutes waiting for that. Like, okay.
Right. Like, I mean, I will say, because I love pink, I love pink against my complexion. So, like, I like the entrance appeal in the ballroom gown, but then
The entrance was amazing.
you undid your bow and you stood there for 20 minutes or 8 minutes, like you said, and then there's the next
Yeah.
reveal, like, if it was a
The
little bit
production
faster.
value needed to be faster for me. It needed to be, when the queens are doing a costume reveal, you don't take 10 minutes to do that.
Yeah, like, and if you're gonna layer it, like, you have something there that you can be, okay, we don't realize she has something else. Ta-da, girl.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of fashion faux pas or not, Cardi B. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews. I
No,
think
she won the night for me.
she won the night. Like, I thought she was.
She won the night for me.
Keeping with classic fashion. A lot of the interwebs that I've seen on Twitter or even, like, Instagram, it's like she looks like a bag in a bed. Like, I mean, I chuckle, but I liked it. I feel like
I loved it. I thought that
she's
she won
given
grand
us
prize. It was 10s across the board for me. And what they were doing with her, which is so wonderful, is, we're seeing this really real. I mean, even if there is some level of an act of it, there's just this unapologetic energy that I love. And that's how I feel like I want to be unapologetically, woman and unapologetically trans. And I want to be just myself in the
right.
spaces that I inhabit. And I really admire that about her because she resonates with so many people, just being who she is. And she doesn't have to be, the most articulate at times. And she can kind of do things that just, that's her nature. And so I think they're exemplifying her greatness by combining that with like amazing fashion. Her fashion sense has been really on point, in my opinion.
No, yes, I
And I
agree.
think that she won the red carpet for me because I was curious, I was overwhelmed, I was excited, when I saw what she wore, I was intrigued, I was like, we screamed at the TV, I was getting my makeup done for other events, but we were just so like enthralled. And I want that reaction when I'm seeing these events or these fashions at the Met Gala. So she won for me. I gave her 10s.
What do we feel about
She was the one.
Mother Campbell? Mother Campbell. Um,
Naomi is always stunning, always gorgeous. She's effortless. She is evergreen. She did not win this for me.
I agree.
No masquerade.
I felt I could have went into cross dress for less and picked that up off the rack, and yeah, went back home with a box of wine.
I'm surprised I didn't see more men, in full drag. I'm surprised that I didn't see at least one actor, maybe even a Jared Leto or someone in like complete drag, unrecognizable. Yeah. Like that would have been kind of cool. Maybe I would have loved if someone had come as RuPaul in drag. Like if not Chris Rock, but if like some actor of color had really gone out of their comfort zone and showed up as RuPaul, that would have been amazing.
You know who actually should have done it? Leslie Jones. She always does crazy things, and she's
she does do crazy things. I don't think she attended though, but that would have been amazing if she would have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think she did. I think surprisingly, she was on Instagram. yelling at the TV.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
And I don't know how I really felt about Katy Perry's Chandelier. I thought it was clever for a minute, and then I was just sort of, yeah, it just kind of fell flat for me after,
it said,
it was shocking. It was shocking to begin with, and then it just kind of felt like, oh, okay. I was
okay.
like, I hope she takes that off for the dinner.
Ezra Miller is to our actor as we were thinking of, or you were talking
Ezra
of her.
Miller, yes.
Um,
Yes, Ezra.
who else? Let me see. This, I mean, I don't even. Do we get a? I did. I tuned away. I don't remember seeing a Rihanna moment.
No, she did not
That's
attend,
usually,
nor did Beyonce.
and it's so crazy because it's like like the Met Gala. What is Beyonce wearing? What is Rihanna wearing? And then we didn't get that, but we got Cardi B, and I feel like
She made up for it,
yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion. I mean,
completely,
and I think
completely.
that these are really high stakes events, and they're months of planning for a lot of people. Um, and so bringing it all together takes a lot of work, and it has to be right. Like people want to be, if there are certain designers that they want to work with and that they want to collab with, they have to be able to prepare for all of that. Um,
Right.
so I'm sure we'll see Rihanna and Beyonce next year since they didn't go this year.
Right. Last Met Gala look, J Lo.
J Lo is my bitch. I actually had. I am actually a huge, huge fan. Um, I am a J Lo stan. That's my girl. I think that she looks lovely. I don't think she was camp, and I just think that the look could have been a little more on trend with what they were doing. But she always looks beautiful to me. I just didn't think it was camp. If she would have come as
Mhm.
something, if she would have come as Selena, that would have been everything.
Okay. Um, her coming as Selena would have been great, but I feel just like I don't know. I got the glamorous, I guess,
We got what we always
vaudeville,
get with
black
her.
and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that she gave us that extra, that Beyonce essence we
She
didn't
should have
have.
come as Charlie Chaplin, and A Rod should have come as like the little vaudeville tapper girl. That's what they should have done. They should have done a Victor
Okay.
Victoria moment.
Yes. Um, Speaking of twinning moments, was it Kylie and Iggy that showed up in the same dress in different outfit or different colors?
I missed that.
Let me see.
I
I
didn't
believe,
see.
yeah, I believe I saw that little moment, and somebody had a
Oh,
photo. I didn't really look at it. It was those
interesting.
moments of scrolling.
Yeah.
So it could have been fake, but whatever. Let's see. And then we had. I will say there was some. Was this Lupita who was on there? I believe it was Lupita. She came in a
Lupita looks
very,
amazing.
yeah, very Afrocentric and
Uh huh.
just said, "All right, well, girl, just like time has been flying. It's wonderful. Easy Met Gala review. We've gone over kind of your calendar things you have going on. Anything else you
I
want to throw
did
out
want to
there?
just say that I just wanted to say that I'm so excited about all the things I have coming up this year. This is going to be a crazy year. This is only the beginning of the jam, and I want everyone to keep up with me. I'm really honored that I was able to perform at the GLAAD Awards last weekend and to see Madonna speak. I actually got to meet Rosie O'Donnell and have a few words with her. And um, performing at the GLAAD Awards was just, it was an honor.
Okay, sweet. Oh, duh. Shangela was hosting the GLAAD Awards,
Oh,
right?
and my girl
So you got
Shangela.
to.
Yes.
You're like, oh, and that girl. Yeah, So you were just in this like immersed in like a room
Well,
full of.
Shangela and I are actually we're family, like we're friends. I've known Shangela for almost 10 years. Like I've known her for a
Oh
really long
wow.
time. People don't know that like we're actually friends. We have an inner circle of people that she's grown up with, and I also know Jennifer Lewis because Jennifer Lewis is a friend through friends of mine that were in the Broadway show of Hairspray when it was on Broadway, and I got to meet Jennifer and hang out with her. And so we, and Shangela lives with Jennifer Lewis and works with Jennifer Lewis. And so there's this sort of familial connection with us. And whenever I get to see Shangela, it's like seeing family, and we always just kiki. It's just so I was just always like, "Hey, girl, I was doing New York Pride last summer, and I was on the Mac float with Sasha Velour and Peppermint, and Shangela was doing the commentary on as we were passing by, and she shouted me out. She was like, "There's Mila Jam," and I just felt so cute and giddy because like no one told her to say that, so she shouted me out, and so
Yeah.
there's just so much. There's a lot of love in the community. There's a lot of love and support around, you know, everyone, and I think that we just need more of that. And I think it's good to be able to support the drag race girls, the non-drag race girls, the queens that you love.
Right.
If you're ever in New York, two of my favorite queens, please come and see them. I love Pixie Aventura and I love Keisha Carr and I love, you know, a lot of girls that are not on Drag Race that are just working hard and taking names.
Right. You know. Okay, definitely. And I think that is why I not I think I know why that's why I created this platform, because I know there are a lot of people out there that have been working hard and they've maybe lifted up a little bit higher
And also
than
another
some of
shout
those
out,
girls.
one more shout out to you're not hip to her, Marty G. Cummings. I'm giving her a shout out because Marty is the first and one of the only drag queen politicians. She's out here pounding the pavement, getting um, legislation and just going around and talking to a lot of people in the Senate on the queer community behalf. And she's really doing a lot of work out there for equality for queer people and everyone. And she didn't have to do that, and I really admire that as a drag queen, she uses her platform to get into politics.
Okay. Well, you definitely send her our way. Putting that out there. If you are listening out there, Marty, we definitely
Yes,
love to have you
Marty
on.
Cummings, you've got to be. Yes,
Yeah,
of
would
course.
love to be helpful to help you share your message and spread the news. Kiki a little.
Yes.
All right, and this last bit of drag dish, let's do a couple rapid fire questions, and
Sure.
we're good. All right, so Mila, these are pretty much all about you. So,
Okay.
all
I'm
right.
ready.
What do you want to be when you grow up if you couldn't be where you're today?
Huh. Um, I mean, if I weren't like a musician or an
Uh huh.
artist,
Yeah.
I would be a psychologist.
Okay. Next
Something in
question.
psychiatry.
Something is like adult, child, just doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Maybe adult, but like, I mean, maybe I would be a therapist. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. If someone was going to make your life into a movie, who would be cast to play you?
Ooh, Zendaya.
Zendaya? Down. Okay.
Yes.
Do you remember your very first performance and what song it was?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Of course. My very first performance was Crazy in Love.
Okay.
Classic
And
Beyonce Crazy.
yeah, I know. I hope the rest of them know Crazy in Love. Who do you look up to for inspiration as you build your career?
I actually really look up to my best friend Laverne Cox. She's a wise woman, wise beyond her years. She has a lot of advice, good advice, um, and yeah, I look up to her. I also I'm really inspired by like Tracy Ellis Ross. She's someone else that I really look up to.
Okay. What does a perfect Sunday afternoon with Mila look like?
Oh my God, brunch with waffles and eggs and all kinds of food, with lots of friends, and maybe a park day or like a movie day, and just hanging out. I'm not really a drinker, so I just love being around my friends and being around people that want to get together.
Okay. When you have a 5 minute break during rehearsals, what do you spend that time doing?
Oh, probably eating and checking social media. Right.
Okay, around you, and we have like 3 questions left, but around you, who's the funniest person that you would say is in real life? It keeps you laughing, or, you know.
Oh, my dear friend Justin Johnston. He's an amazing Broadway actor, and whenever we get together, he was in Rent on Broadway for many years. He actually played Angel, and he keeps me. I literally laugh nonstop when I'm with him. I was with him last night, and he just makes me so happy.
Okay. What do you do when you're not performing or rehearsing?
Usually watching, studying, or I'm at the movies.
Okay.
I love the movies. I actually go to the movies a lot, and my movie buddy is Peppermint. We go to lots of movies together.
Down. Okay. We love a little mint in our life, a little peppermint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you had a magic wand and you could do
Uh-oh.
any show, any show that you wanted, what would it be?
Any TV show?
Yeah, any TV show. You can even create your own. What would it be? Or, you know?
If I had a magic wand, I would want to be on Insecure.
Okay.
I really think there needs to be a trans character on Insecure, um, like a homegirl, and she needs to be written into the show. I'm not going to tell you how it is because I don't want to tell the deal. I'm going to call them and we're going to work it out. But I would love to be on Insecure with Issa
Yeah,
Rae.
like, okay, yeah, I don't need. Yeah, okay, so that's good. And then, last but not least,
Uh-huh.
we've talked about everything from the time that we put in to building our career to maintaining, that energy while in the career and, life beyond. But every time you go on the stage, it's a different experience, and I'm saying that. Well, hopefully for you, like it's a different experience, like a good experience because you're with new
Uh-huh.
energy.
Yeah.
What is the last thing that goes through your mind, or is there a moment or a flash of fear or just a moment of thanks or a rush that happens before that curtain goes up or your music starts on you? Is it just like, bam, I'm here? It's like I'm
For me,
home and
yeah, I have this energy that I always kind of channel that's it's welcoming people in. I think that's so important for me. So I do that when I get on stage. I think that's the equivalent to, instead of coming out to people, I think that it's always about letting people in. So choosing when to give them, information about who I am or my journey or, where I've come from or my transness. So I always feel like no matter what audience, if it's 2 people or if it's 2,000 or 20,000 people, the thing that comforts me, I've gotten over fears. I don't really get stage fright anymore. It's just, it's like, it's my living room, it's my room, and we're all playing together. And it's my turn to let you in to my imagination. That's kind of how I feel.
right. Okay, no, that's fair, and I think that is That's a very reasonable
But then I will say
approach.
though, I will say that when things get going though, it's like once you're in the groove of like whatever you're doing, your show or your performance, like I don't know about you, but for me it always goes by so quickly. And
Yeah.
so as soon as you lock into your energy and your performance mode, it's over, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh my God, like I just did that. And like, like, oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
there's a totally different feeling from being on stage
No.
and to see yourself in a, you know, on a video or the performance from, you know, another angle. And it's that's magical to me, like how I felt when I was in the moment and what it looks like, you know, from the audience's point of view are two different things.
Right. I completely agree with that because you can feel completely amazing in a moment, and because you're now looking at someone else's video or their angle, it may not be the best angle.
Exactly.
It may not reflect accurately what you feel, even what you rehearsed. But I agree that feeling on stage is something that's like that when you're there and you're into it and you've connected with the audience, it goes so
Uh-huh.
fast. But it is something that I think it's something for entertainers and not just entertainers as far as being on stage and wanting to act or sing or dance, but entertainers for social people that like to be with their friends or family.
Right.
It's an energy in us that we not only we feed off from those people watching, but we feed back, and to have
Mm-hmm.
that rush, it's I don't
It's
even
true.
like, yeah, it's just amazing. Mila, you've been an
Yes.
amazing guest. If there's anything else you want to
Thank
throw out to
you.
anybody in the land, this is your
No, I
moment.
want to say that I've had a great time speaking with you. And this has been a great interview. We didn't even talk about dating, which is something I talk about a lot in my interviews. And it was refreshing that we didn't even touch on that topic. At some point, you know, there
Yeah.
will be that. But I'm happy that we've got to share this conversation. And everyone out there listening, thank you for listening and thank you for being a part of my
I'm
journey.
Naomi Wynters, and that's been today's episode of Drag Dish. Remember to hashtag feel your beat boo. See you next time. Bye.